Okay, thank you, Dario. I just advise you that when I am presenting, I cannot see the chat, so we will see after if you have questions. So I will present you a case we manage in Italy for the white certificate scheme in industry. So it's a project applied in plastic industry to optimize. It's a fully OPEX project, so without specific investment on the as energy efficiency improvement, but energy efficiency is exclusively obtained by data-driven approach. So changing and optimizing the setting and the conduction, the operation of the system. So just to quickly explain, I'm working in a company called Metron, specialized in data analysis, data science, and so artificial intelligence, etc., applied to industry. So we implement a platform to gather data and to manage data, analyze it, etc., and turn to the customer with analysis, advices, etc. So we are working worldwide with a lot of industrial sectors. On this specific project, we are working in Italy with an Italian company making plastic object, I will say, okay? So this specific project is done on 3 presses, okay? Injection pressing, molding presses, quite similar between them. The project is addressing all the 3 presses together. Each press has an electrical power of 300 kilowatts, and the global capacity of the system is 50,000 kilograms per day. The annual consumption of the system is more than 1 gigawatt hour of energy, okay, electrical energy. And about the project, so as I was explaining to you, the objective is to optimize the operation of the presses, okay, to improve energy performance. But generally speaking, we can obtain these savings by more actions, okay? Depending on the analysis, we can have, at the end, the project, it is a sum of different actions. Some are little, some are more important, etc. And the total need to be measured by our project in the measurement and verification project to plan, measurement and verification plan, to be sure that we will be able to sum, okay, all the actions we can do and to have a consistent measurement of the savings. So expected savings are around 10% of the energy consumption and also of CO2 equivalent emissions. So we are speaking about 123 megawatt hour of savings expected. And we also expect improvement of the OE, so the industrial performance. And speaking of economical impact, we expect from white certificate around 30% okay, effect on the payback, okay, by obtaining the financial amount of white certificate. About investment of this project, we can assess investment around 70,000 euro over the 3 years of the project. So including the instrumentation, the MNV cost, and including the consultancy, because at the end, it is not a CapEx project. So some CapEx you need to install some server, OPC server, etc. But the main part is the analysis, and so the consultancy made by the ESCo, so by Metron in this specific case. So putting all together, we assess 70,000 euro over 3 years of the project as a cost for the final customer. But important to understand that this cost can be also shared with other projects. So it is also something to consider when assessing the benefit and the cost of this project. So about the data we use a lot of data to make the analysis, but focusing on what is needed for the MNV plan, so to register the savings, we focus on electrical consumption of the presses, the global one of the 3 presses altogether. And so measured by digital meter, we connect to our platform. And production data, I mean the quantity of plastic pieces, okay, produced by the presses. This production data is on the ERP of the system of the customer, and so we also connect to this to obtain the data on the platform. Then, to make the analysis, of course, also we connect. You can see here how we connect to the system. It can be interesting for some of you. So, as said before, we have the ERP production that is sent to the cloud of Metron to be elaborated by the platform. About the electrical consumption, we have digital electrical meter on the presses where we connect directly with the concentrator to send the data also to the cloud. And about the process data, we directly connect this process data, the SCADA of the presses, okay, on a specific OPC server where we can connect and speak with to also send the data to the cloud and elaborate all together, okay? So we elaborate a specific baseline, okay, on this system. The baseline has been made not directly on energy, what should be the recommendation of IPMVP, but on specific energy consumption. Also, because the statistical score result was better, and it was also to follow specific sector recommendation of the authority, asking us to make the baseline on specific consumption and not on the final energy. Just to explain, maybe it's a little bit atypical. So, respect to APMVP. So, we have this, you can see here the consumption according to the production, okay? So, the specific consumption in kilowatt hour by kilogram according to the production in kilogram by day. And so you see the specific shape, okay, of the curve separated by the level of production. So when the production is very high, the specific consumption is almost horizontal, okay, constant. So I put you here the question, the condition to apply the baseline. So if we are under 10,000, we apply this quadratic model. If we are over 10,000, we apply the constant number of 0.39. So here you have the equation we use for the savings, computing the baseline with real measurement. So we use the IPMVP approach of avoid consumption. So making the difference between specific energy consumption of the baseline and real specific energy consumption of the reporting period, multiplied by the adjusting parameter that is the production in the period, in the reporting period. Multiply by the coefficient, because we have to transform this consumption we obtain in kilowatt hour. We have to transform it in ton of oil equivalent, okay, to have the number of white certificate we can obtain. Okay, you have as Dario was explaining before, 1 ton of oil equivalent is one white certificate called TEE in Italy, for titoli di efficienza energetica. So here you can see the result, because it is an ongoing project, okay? So you can see here the data, the daily data for this year, okay, from the beginning of this year, January to end of February. It should has been instant data, because I extracted for the last date of the webinar, but so now I could also update it if we want until now. So the interesting thing it is to see that we can follow in real time, okay, the baseline, so in black, against the real consumption. So consumption from the baseline give you this black line, and real consumption is the green line. So you immediately see, okay, the savings day by day, you can follow it. Of course, some days you don't have it. Even some day you can be a little bit over the baseline, but generally speaking, on the average, on the reporting period, you will have the savings. So here it is just a quick view to show you what we can see for the analyze, okay, for the energy efficiency analyze. So some production data, temperatures, etc. Looking at the data every minute, okay, to see precisely how the behavior of the presses. You can see here also more analyze data about status of the system. So you can see that you have a big time, half of the time in off for the presses, 16% of the time in transitory time, and altogether this time is very high. So you can see 2/3 of the time is non-productive time, but instead it is almost more than 25% of the energy consumption is for this time. So you can see how this kind of analysis can push us toward where we have to focus in terms of optimization to find how we could reduce, for instance, this transitory and off-time consumptions, okay, to obtain my 10% savings. Of course, we can also work on the operational time, okay, the productive time during process, but it is more difficult because things are more, I would say, constrained, okay, by the technical constraints. So here, another way to see the transition and off time and productive time. So following the specific energy consumption, you can see immediately when you are in production, you are stable. When you are off, you don't have production. You don't have consumption of the presses, but you have other consumption of auxiliaries we can address. And here, for instance, you have a transitory time important with a big specific energy consumption. So here, typically, it is an area where we can work to optimize. About interesting effect to have in mind, the price of the white certificate in Italy is regulated by the authority, so quite stable. In the last, I will say, 5 years, the price is almost always around 245 euro by white certificate. Instead, the price of the energy is not blocked and can vary. So we have seen in the last 3 years, the price can change a lot. From, I would say, a little bit more than 100 euro until more than 250 euro by megawatt hour. So you can understand that the economical impact of white certificate will depend, of course, of the context. Okay, because, so just to show you this graph, the more the electricity is high, the cost, of course, the more the impact of the white certificate is low. But generally speaking, the project is anyway more interesting if the price of energy is high. So now we can consider that, okay, we could bet on a 30%, okay, weight of white certificate on the benefit, okay, of the investment of the improvement project. So with direct impact on the payback time. To conclude a little bit on this project, so clearly the white certificate is a boosting for the project. So we have a 3-year project. So with respect to Dario explanation before, it is a 3-year project because the OPEX project in the white certificate scheme in Italy are shorter project, okay? We don't have a too long period. So it's a 3-year project, but anyway, 3-year project is interesting for us to consolidate the relationship with the customer. So what we can say about investment, so I told you before the 70,000 kilo euro on 3 years, it's about the license for the platform, the Metron platform to make the analysis, the monitoring, etc. And the reporting, the meters, the OPC server we had to install in the specific project, the consulting services, all the work we do to make the improvement, etc. and the administrative cost, because you have to pay something to the authority to present the white certificate. At the last slide on this project, what are the learnings, okay, from this project? And generally speaking, the white certificate activity we had in Italy until now. Sure, it is helpful for the ESCo, so for us Metro in this project and for the customer, because you consolidate anywhere a more professional approach to MNV, because it is needed to obtain the white certificate. So it is a good way to understand and to be in contact, okay, with this kind of approach. The white certificate sure reinforced the relationship, because we have to remain 3 years, okay, together with this project to obtain the white certificate. If I don't do until the end with the project, I won't obtain the white certificate. Of course, you have an economical benefit, 30%, okay, in average on the payback time. The investment, important to consider that investment for this specific project can be shared with other projects, okay? So in the specific case, we can manage on this contract 500 data point, okay? On the platform. We use 50 for this project. So you can understand that you can use also the same platform for a lot of other projects for the same customer. But of course, you have also some difficulties that is important, I think, to be aware of that. White certificate project in Italy need to be submitted before the start of the project. So you have to wait in some way to acquire for a long time, 1 year more or less, all the data needed to present the baseline. So it can be something not so easy to discuss with the customer, to tell the customer, I need 1 year to measure the data, to have the baseline before we can begin the project, to present it to the authority. We have high uncertainty on the white certificate validation. Alors, it is because, as Dario was explaining before, each year you have to present a request, okay, based on the real measurement. So you cannot be sure you will obtain a certain amount of white certificate, and it could happen that authority don't accept your project, ask you for changes, etc. So you have quite uncertainty on the success of the project. And at the end, you have a minimum you have to reach, but okay, it's not really a difficulty. You have to consider it before, but you have to reach 10 tons of oil equivalent for the project to be able to present it for white certificate. So thank you. Okay, that's it for this project.
Thank you, Ignace.